All right, today we're going to be looking at dividing in which we have a zero in the quotient or in your answer, and how to handle that with the standard division algorithm or the traditional method of division. So let's just look at a couple of these. So let's say we have 539 and we want to divide that by 5. And if we remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat, or dad, mom, sister, brother, rover, if we use that standard, we take a look at this first one here. We look at the first number. Can we divide 5 by itself? Yeah, we can. So I know that 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now, if we remember the next step, we need to multiply. 1 times 5 is 5, and we need to subtract to see what I have left. And if I subtract those, I have 0. My next step is to bring down the next number that I have. Now, this is where some fifth graders have trouble, is they brought that down and said, well, wait a minute. I can't take 3 items and divide it by 5. I need to keep going. And that's where we have trouble, because if you bring a number down, you have to divide it. Now you might be thinking, well, how can I divide 3 by 5? Well, you can't. Because the only way that 5 can't go in there, it goes in there 0 times. So you have to be thinking, oh, yeah, it can go if it goes 0 times, because I know that 0 times 5 is 0. Now we have to do that to make sure we keep our place value set, because otherwise when kids divide these out, sometimes if they don't put that space in there, they end up with maybe a 2-digit answer when the answer should be 3-digit. It doesn't make sense. So we want to look at it. Well, 3 divided by 5 is 0, because 0 times 5 is 0. So I subtract that. I still have my 3, but now I can bring the next number down. If you remember, you can only bring one number down at a time. Now I have 39. 2-digit number, 39 divided by 5. Yep, 7 times 5 is 35. Sister, subtract. 39 minus 35 is 4. There's no other numbers to bring down. So I'm finished. I have 107, remainder 4. Whereas some people might have done this and got 17, remainder 4. And if we go back and look at that, there's no way 17 times 5 is going to equal 539. So we have to make sure our answer makes sense here. If we look at the other one, same situation, 6 divided by 6 is going to give us 1. 1 times 6 is 6. I subtract, I get 0. I bring down the next number, and that's really small. And a lot of us are tempted to continue on, but we have to stop and remember, if you bring a number down, you have to divide it. So 6 can only go into 2 0 times. It doesn't go into the, so 0, we're going to put that up there. 0 times 6 is 0. I can subtract it out now. And then I can finally bring down that 8 and continue on. So I have 28 divided by 6. 6 times 4 is 24. That's the closest we can get to it without going over. So 6 times 4 is 24. I can subtract and have 4 left. There's nothing left to bring down, so that'll be my remainder. And my remainder is smaller than my divisor, so I know I'm done. 104, remainder 4. Another way you can look at this is if we estimate and we say, hey, 628 divided by 6, I know my answer is going to be around 100, because 6 times 100 is 600. So if you would have gotten an answer of 14, remainder 4, and forgot to put your 0 in here, you should automatically know that, hey, there's something not right, because my estimate was about 100 and I only got 14 for an answer. Same with this one. I know that 5 goes into there about 100 times. So if I don't get the 0 right in my quotient, I'm going to have huge problems with my answer. let's try a 4-digit one here. So if I have a 4-digit number I want to divide out, same situation. 4 divided by 4, I'm going to get 1. 1 times 4 is 4. And subtract, bring down. And remember, once you bring down that number, you have to divide it. You can't continue on. A lot of you are going to be tempted to, oh, we can't do it. I want to bring down my 8. Now, if you look at our estimate, 4,186 divided by 4, my answer should be around 1,000. So if I don't have a 4-digit answer up here, something's not right. I messed up. So even though I can't divide 1 by 4, technically it goes in there 0 times, because 0 times 4 is 0. I can subtract that and then bring down my 8, and now I can continue on. 18 divided by 4. Well, I know that 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 times 4 is 16. I can subtract, bring down my next number. I've got 26. 26, divided by 4. 6 times 4 is 24. I have 2 left, no more to bring down, so I have a remainder of 2, and my answer makes sense. I've got around 1,000, as we said, because 1,000 times 4 is 4,000, so my answer is going to be close to 1,000. And I have to make sure. So if you got 146, we know you made an error there. So oftentimes you're going to have zeros in your quotients, and you need to be, cognizant of that as you're going through this, that sometimes when you're bringing a number down, it's going to be smaller than your divisor. But if you brought it down, you still have to divide it. And this divisor can always go in there 0 times, because 0 times anything is 0. Okay? So you're going to have an assignment today that looks like this, and it's going to have a division with zeros info, kind of taking you through that step by step. And this is your 4th division practice, but all of these are going to have zeros in the quotient, where you're going to be subtracting, and the number you break down is going to be pretty small, smaller than your divisor. But remember, if you bring it down, you still have to divide it. So you're going to maybe do some estimating ahead of time, just so we know that our answers make sense. So you're going to have a sheet like this. It's going to have 9 different math problems on it. If you have any questions, just email me and I'll be happy to help you.